something that we don't want to think about, but we really have to think about when we're thinking about leaving a legacy. This is a will-based estate plan that is comprehensive, that is complete, that you can do from the comfort of your own home in about 20 minutes. You do it all online and then you receive the hard copies, but it really just prompts you. It is state specific, it is expertise, and it's simple, fast, secure, and easy. And then you have the peace of mind for yourself, for your loved ones. If you want to think about directives you want for your health care, where your pet's gonna go if anything, God forbid, ever happens to you. So that's what Trust and Will is all about. Now, we've sold over 13,000 kits on QVC since this debuted in May of 2023. We do have the option of having the estate planning program for couples. If you're doing it as a couple, it's $185.98. We throw in free shipping and handling as well, saving you $41.99 when the comparable retail is about $300. But $25.20 brings this on home. Now, if you want to have your estate plan for a single, for an individual, that's $125.98, saving you almost $36 with that free shipping, $25.20. We work a lifetime to build our lives and our fortunes and our families, so why shouldn't we do something to protect that and make sure everything is easy and planned out so no one has to worry? It's the best gift you can ever give to your loved ones. It's E316684. Again, I've never gotten to do this for an entire hour, and I'm really thrilled that this is the time I do, because this is something that has been on my mind a lot. Anyone over the age of 18, anyone with any property, anybody with a pet, anybody with a bank account, this is something important. So let me bring in my guest. It's Paige Volovich. She brings us really great products, innovative products, and this is something that is so brilliant because now, Paige, no lawyers, no huge hefty fees, no trying to decipher what those documents say. It's so nice to see you.
Hey, great to be here. And Julie, I'm so happy that you and I get to do this in January, right? Because we're having that fresh start of the year.
Right.
There's no better time than today. So I'm so thrilled to have the hour with you.
I'm thrilled too. I've done like 15 minutes on this and I just felt like I had more questions and I wanted to know more. Give us the overview.
Yeah. So, well, this all came about because Trust and Will realized that when we're talking about our will, it's truly one of the most overlooked aspects in our financial wellness. So we think about life insurance, we think about home insurance, we think about our 401ks, but this quite possibly could be the most important aspect in your financial world. So Trust and Will is really designed a program that's going to help every family with their legacy, because we all work so hard day in and day out. And if you don't have a will, guess who decides? A judge, state officials, others decide that everything you work so hard for, where it goes, and most likely will get stuck in probate. And probate is a tough process if you don't have a will. It's financial stress. It is just overall stress, but it's that stress for your family members.
Right.
And I always tell everyone, I just want to start the hour, Julia, letting everyone know that, I know personally, because I've been partnering with them for quite some time now. Anytime I bring up a will, people tense up and they get stressed and they feel guilty, but that's not what this hour is about. You're going to see me like happy and smiling and telling beautiful stories, because at the end of this hour, or even these next 5 minutes, we want you to know this is a beautiful gift for anyone in your family. It's a clear-cut plan. It's a roadmap for you. It's a roadmap for your family members. And, when that time comes, there will no be heartbreak. There won't be speculation of what you wanted. And this is something that once you're finished in 20 minutes, you will say, why didn't I do this sooner? Because it's a gift for yourself. It's all back here in the back of our head. We know it. It's daunting. It's uncomfortable. And I'm excited to tell you how easy it is to do with them. It's fast. It's affordable. And it's not what I thought it was. I thought it was going to be all doom and gloom, and it's not that at all.
According to care.com, only 34% of Americans actually have a will. That means 66% do not, because it's daunting. It is, it feels kind of like it's exclusive. Like, do I have to find a lawyer? How do I like navigate all of this? This does it all for you in a step-by-step process. So tell me how this works. What comes to me when I order today?
So today when you order, you're not going to receive those folders that you see in front of Julia and myself, you're going to receive this voucher in the mail. It's a redeemable voucher, and in the back of it is a redeemable promotion code. Once you put that in, you're going to pop up to this website from Trust and Will, and it's going to navigate on this online platform. And it's really a series of questions. It's really a questionnaire, if you will. In about 20 minutes, it's going to ask you simple questions: your name, your date of birth, where you live, because where you live designates a state-specific will. That's very important, and that's one of my top questions I receive from everyone. As you start to answer questions, it gives you these prompts and actually provides multiple choice answers, which was something I personally love. It held my hand because I'm not someone, before I partner with a team, that was an expert in trust or wills. So they put it in layman's terms and something easy to understand. They also give you these great nudges, Julia. They'll say, here are 4 or 5 options to this question that you can select. However, most people select this answer, just to let you know and give you a level of comfort. Now, at any time, I always say this is a 20-minute process. I have good friends that can bang this out in 20 minutes. I'm someone who takes a little more time to reflect. So when I did this the first time, I did 5 minutes, and then I closed it. I let it marinate. I wanted to think about it. I wanted to talk to my dad and to my husband and really make it a conversation and then dive back in. It will actually pick up where you left off. So don't feel that you have to know all the answers when you get started. I find that to be one of the biggest barriers for people. A lot of times when you're going through this Trust and Will online system, you realize you might have all the answers to the question, especially because we're almost going to be doing taxes in a couple months. And I always say, I feel like they go hand in hand. You're kind of in that financial mindset. So at the end of those 20 minutes or whatever you decide to finish, what happens is 2 things. One, you can personally print out your will instantaneously, which is great because a lot of times people may go on a trip or a reason they need their will right away. You can do that. Otherwise, we will send you these 2 copies, and we're going to go through these and everything that's included in this comprehensive program. But you, when you're finished, have 2 things you need to do. You need to sign to make it a legal document, and then you're going to take it to get notarized. So you'll sign it in front of a notary, they'll notarize it, and then it is a legally binding document. Wow. And even if you're someone like me, I have a will, but so much has changed, Julia, for me. You know, my children are now 18. Maybe you got married, maybe you got divorced, maybe you had children. So experts really in this area recommend every 3 to 5 years to revisit your will. So maybe you had a will, it's worked well for you for years, probably time to update. This is an ideal time, especially with this promotion we have going on and the ease of use of the program.
Well, this is a big deal, which is why we're dedicating an entire hour to it today. And big deal does mean before it's gone. And that could mean the product itself, or it could mean the price. The price will go back up. This is a comparable retail value of either $199 or $299. And that's just depending if you're doing an individual estate planning program or for the couples. It's E316684. And you're so right, Paige. January is when we sort of sit back, we reflect, we make intentions. And it's a really good time to do the things that we could put in the back of our head, kind of forget about, get overwhelmed by just the thought of it. Because before, it was, you know, you had to go out, you had to find a lawyer, you had to make the appointment, you had to pay for a consultation, you had to pay for all the lawyer's fees, you had all these documents. Like, it's too much. And when it becomes too much, for me, I shut down and I just don't do it. At that point, I'm like,
same.
Okay. Too much for me. But this is just one simple ordering process right now here on QVC2. Then you're going to get everything home that Paige did, that promotional code, and you're going to do this online. And as soon as you're done, you're going to receive your hard copies, whether you print them yourselves or they get sent to you. I love everything about this. It's such like an innovative idea to really like cut out, look, I'll tell you this, Paige. I tried to do something very legal on my own. I got about 3 pages in, and talk about shutting down. Once I was reading all the Latin that they use in legal terms, I was like, I'm out, and I had to hire somebody to help me. This is going to take you through. It's going to hold your hand step by step and make it easy and make it accessible. And I just want to read to you, Paige, a couple of, I was looking at this on QVC.com. It has stellar reviews, and these are just some of the quotes from the reviews. That it provided peace of mind. This is from our customer. Easier than I thought. Glad we did it. Very easy process. quick and easy, super easy modern solution. And that's coming from you, our QVC customer who's brought this home. And I think that's really important. You could always visit those comments yourself on QVC.com, but just so you know how easy this can be.
Yes, and I love that they said modern because I often use that. What they've done is taken that traditional will, they made it fast, easy, and affordable, and made it available to everyone. But when we say modern, there's so many nuances to wills today that weren't a part of yesterday. For example, I always talk to people about the digital aspects of our life, right? So when you think of a will decides, you decide how you're going to distribute all of your assets. So that could be your property, could be your pet, your children, having a guardian, maybe healthcare decisions. But what they've done is also incorporate modern day, meaning I have online banking now. That is an aspect, digital assets. Maybe you have online photos, maybe you have social media. So these are all reasons to incorporate it, right? So these are things I never thought of before, but that's what's happening, right? So that matter. I mean, think about all of our photos that we have online and maybe online assets. But here are some of the top reasons that I really encourage you today, even if you just think about it today, why you want to actually create a will. And the first one I always go to every time is the one that's near and dear to my heart, that's most important to me, is to prevent and avoid family conflict. And because what we know is, we cherish our loved ones. We all have the best intentions, but sometimes when heartache and heartbreak come into the picture, we're not ourselves, right? And maybe an uncle promised something verbally, or maybe you had an understanding of how something was going to shake down. But when you have something in a will in black and white, everyone knows where it's supposed to go. So there's no speculation, there's no conflict. You get to decide also guardians for your children and pets. Now, just to actually dial back what we were saying about a modern nuance, and this is something that I was so impressed with, is not only are you able to pick a guardian for your children, but you're able to pick a guardian and a backup to the guardian for your children and pets, and then a backup to your backup guardian.
Wow.
And I thought, wow, how brilliant is that? Because tomorrow's not promised, and we don't know what changes could happen in the future, even if it's just chemistry and that person's not a part of your life anymore. So it really looks at it from a big picture. And what we know is, back in the day, a lot of us would say, oh, I don't need a will. I'm not wealthy. I don't have multiple homes. I don't have multiple cars. And that is a common misconception. Even 18 years or older, we want you to think about getting that will in place, because maybe your child has something as simple as a bank account or a 529 for their college funds. But once you put that in place, you are preventing so much heartache and heartbreak, because if it gets stuck in probate without that will, it will take years. Some people have a little luckier path, but I have a dear friend of me that his grandmother, who raised him, when she had passed, Julia, he and his sister had to pack up, to go out to Michigan and try what they said is like pick up the breadcrumbs,
Right.
because their grandma did not have a will. And so he basically said, we were like looking in file cabinets, looking under the bed, looking everywhere for bank accounts, for the deed, for the title. They actually went door to door, knocking on the local banks to say, did my grandma do her banking here? And it just became this very painful journey. And they wanted to do right by her. Of course they did. But they told me, almost 3 years until everything was resolved. A lot of tears, a lot of heartbreak, a lot of stress. So here's what I dial it down to is, as hard it is, because it is, we get it, hard to make these decisions. Once you break it down and make those, just if we didn't make those decisions, imagine how hard it is for our loved ones to make those decisions after we've passed. So that's why I really encourage you to think about it as your roadmap and your loved ones. Because once you have that in place, I'll tell you, I've heard from so many people that have shared such beautiful stories of, actually celebrating their loved ones and their life without having to worry about all the logistics and the paperwork and the probate. So we're thinking about this as a long-term solution. I talk about it too. The minute every year I finish my taxes is one of my favorite days of the year. It's such a relief, right? That comes over me. So multiply that by 1 million, and that's the relief, because you did the right thing. I said that's the first day I did my real adulting, Julia, when I did my will.